So I'm at day 13 now, and I've got some exciting news to share. I am down 7 pounds. And I gotta say, in some ways this is getting easier, but in some ways this is getting a lot harder. I've gotten the hang of the food, so that's the easy part. And I'll talk more about that in this video. But the hard part is that even though I'm down 7 pounds, the weight loss is slowing down now. So it's hard to keep up the same motivation. So the challenge of just still hanging in there and keeping going. So I'll be talking more about that as well. My name is Marcella, and this is my weight loss journey. Before I get into this video for today, if you could hit subscribe, that would be really awesome. I plan to lose up to 70 pounds, and this is how you can see that happen. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss any updates. So yeah, what's easy about being where I'm at in my journey is the food. By day 13, I pretty much have it down pat. I know what seems to work best for me right now in terms of separating my allowed calories into meals and how big each of those meals should be. So far, what's worked well for me is having basically 2 meals and 1 snack per day. I usually eat my first meal pretty late in the day, sometime in the afternoon actually. I'm a night owl. Yep, that's me at night. I'll often be cleaning or working on projects late at night when the gyms are open, unlike now due to COVID. I'll even go for an 11 p.m. workout sometimes, and I quite enjoy that. Because I don't have to start my schedule for the day until later, that works great for me as I like to stay up late and sleep in. Anyway, once I get up, it's usually just my tea with milk, and that keeps me going for a bit, and then I'll make my first meal, which is normally the smaller of my 2 meals. You can see some of those meals here. Usually this meal ends up being between 300 and 400 calories, but that's varied a few times with it either being smaller or larger than that. Sometimes I have my tea right with that meal, depending what's on my schedule for the day, and sometimes I have my meal first and take my tea with me on the go, or even pick one up at a drive-thru along the way. Then my second meal of the day is usually my larger meal. Here's a few pictures of some of those meals. And this meal usually comes in between 600 and 700 calories, with a few exceptions, with my lowest day for this meal coming in at 509.5, and my highest so far being 790, but the average is still around 650. I always leave room for a late evening snack because I am a night owl. I really need this to keep me going, or I would not be able to last until the first meal of the next day. And this usually ends up being around 180 calories. But I've had days where I've only had 50 calories left and others where I've had 300. This really depends on how my day added up so far, but as long as I have room left for something, then this works for me. But really, no matter where the 2 meals and the 1 snack fall in terms of calories, the total calories for the day always ends up being in the 1200s, and I'll make adjustments to the foods that I'm having to make sure this happens. I have used this meal schedule now for 11 of these 13 days, so my body has gotten used to this pattern of eating, and it's becoming pretty easy. I kind of know what to do without thinking about it now in terms of meal prep, and I know what to expect. I do still get hungry between meals, and this can be quite a lot, especially before my second meal if I wait too long to prepare it, or things get busy and I end up eating really late. It can be hard to wait, and I have to make sure that I don't get too hangry, if you know what I mean. But I know I can do this, so I just keep making it happen and pushing through. I like having the second meal be really quite big. By choosing foods carefully, I make sure to increase the size of the meal within the calorie limits. That way, even if I was already having those hunger pangs, this meal takes care of that. It feels very satisfying, and it keeps me going for a long time. I am usually hungry again on my late night snack, which can be a few hours later, so I need to save the room for this, and this helps me get through to the next day. I do usually wake up hungry as well, or if not, then soon after, but at this time it's not so bad, and I can usually delay this meal for some time depending on how I feel and how the day is going. Now, you might think that all this hunger is a problem, but no, it is quite all right. I'm not surprised by it at all. I mean, I used to way overeat all the time. I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, as much as I wanted, no portion control. I did eat lots of healthy foods, but I also ate lots of junk food, no restrictions whatsoever. Also, emotional eating, stress eating, boredom eating, TV time eating, and fun time eating. I did all of it, really. So of course this hunger feeling is new to me. I basically never had any before. How could I really feel hungry when I was just eating anything and everything, anytime? I maybe felt a little bit of hunger at times, but it was always taken care of pretty much right away, unless I was out at work or shopping or whatever. But pretty much there was no waiting, and not like now. Now the food is controlled. There is no just grabbing something in between. There is nothing that's not planned for, and I make myself wait for that next meal or snack. So yes, this is very different than before, and yes, there is hunger, but that is okay. I think it's probably normal, actually, the way I should be feeling. Giving the body a bit of a break in between meals too, instead of just always having more food so quickly. Actually giving myself time to feel really hungry before eating again. And given that this is so much less food than I used to eat before, I would fully expect my body to be reacting to this change like this, and I wouldn't expect anything different. And because of this, the food now is actually more satisfying. Truthfully, I could probably eat less than the 1200 calories now, because once you get to that stronger feeling of hunger, and then once you start eating your meal, it actually goes away very quickly, and suddenly you feel full. At least that's how it works for me anyway. Do you feel like this when you're dieting, doing portion control or calorie counting? Do you feel satisfied more quickly from the foods you eat than you did before? Leave me a comment on this video. I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, the hunger goes away fast and I could probably eat less, but I don't want to. That is not my goal here. I'm trying hard right now to do this in a healthy way, and I want to stay in the 1200 calorie range. I've done lower calorie diets before, long ago in the past, and I just don't want to go there again. So regardless if that hunger goes away and how full I might feel, I just eat to make sure I stay above the 1200 no matter what. So besides the meal sizing and getting past the hunger being pretty easy now, planning for what foods I should be having is also getting pretty easy at this point. My Excel spreadsheet where I track my food is filling up with more and more information. Because I often repeat foods, it's easy now to just grab a food from that list that I've had a previous day, and I can quickly see the portion size that I should have on a following day. And because it doesn't feel as overwhelming now as when you're starting from scratch and the page is completely empty, it is very easy now to add a new food item into the day and also into the spreadsheet data. I also always shop for ingredients or food items that I know can work for my plan or fit into my recipes and have lower amounts of calories or better ingredients than other brands, so that way my kitchen is stocked with what I need. And all of this makes figuring out the food for each day pretty easy now at this point. And my last video was on day 9, so I haven't shared my food with you for days 10 through until today. So I just want to share those with you now. As part of my journey, I want to share exactly what I'm eating, at least on any days that I stay on track, to share what 1200 calories looks like. I hope that I will eventually be successful at reaching my goals, and by sharing these meals, this will show exactly what I did along the way to get there. So here is my food for day number 10. This day came in at a total of 1238 calories. This is one of the days where I changed my 2-meal 1 snack plan, and instead I had 2 small meals earlier in the day, and then I still had my larger meal and my snack. There is no set rule for this. It is only the total for the day that matters. And here is my day number 11. It was also a little different than usual in that having this big veggie plate as part of my main meal ended up leaving more room for my evening snack. I actually had over 400 calories left still, which let me have all of that you can see there in the evening. The total for the day was 1250 calories. And then there's day 12 for 1286 calories. And this day, for once, I actually had 3 meals, with my middle meal just being the sunflower crisp salad. And this dinner of kind of using pierogies as pasta is probably one of my favorite dinners that I've been having occasionally so far during my journey. 8 pierogies for 400 calories topped with a tomato sauce, a few kinds of veggies, usually tomatoes, peppers, and spinach, and then not today but often some protein or legumes as well. Just ends up being a tasty and filling meal to make. It's also quick to make. It doesn't take long provided that I have any meat that I want to use pre-cooked. And it's easy to turn this into a large meal that has a satisfying amount of food and still fits into my calorie goal. And lastly, here is day 13. This day came to a total of 1,242. I skipped having a breakfast type meal this day and went to more of a late lunch with the lentil soup. The salad that was part of my dinner was the other half of the salad that I had made yesterday. So this all together by day 13 makes this diet plan easy to follow. Hunger, meals, food planning, and tracking are all sorted out and easily handled. But here comes the hard part at this point of the diet, and it is that the weight loss has slowed down. Now, when I'm dieting, I like to weigh myself daily. I know that most people do weekly weigh-ins, and some people even do monthly weigh-ins, but I've always, whether at a time of working out hard or following a diet plan, have always checked my weight daily. Sometimes I like to see even the little drops, like 0.4, 0.5, 0.6 of a pound. I'll track a weekly total too, but I like to see how my body is reacting every day. Sometimes I can see the effects of a good day of eating or a bad day of eating right away. And for the most part, I think that weighing myself daily has a positive effect for me. Yes, the body can retain a little more water or maybe lose a little more water after a hard workout, but still I can watch the trend of the number on the scale. With those small changes in the numbers on the scale, they can go back and forth as an up, down, up, or whatever, but still they usually trend in a certain direction over time, and that's what I like to watch for. But the weigh-ins can also get a little difficult, and I have to be very careful that it doesn't affect the motivation in a negative way, which it can do and it has done many times in the past. I think this can be a problem whether I'm doing daily or weekly weigh-ins. It wouldn't really matter. If the number isn't moving in the right direction, it can have a negative effect either way. If you're trying really hard and sticking to the plan, it can be disheartening to step on the scale after a number of days and not see any change, or sometimes even it goes in the opposite direction occasionally. This can very easily throw me right off course. I'm off the diet and the plan goes right out the window, usually with some amount of regret at some point later on. Why did I stop? Why didn't I just keep going? It was going well. But the regret doesn't stop it from taking usually months or even longer to start again on the same plan or a different one. Does this happen to you? Do you have to be careful not to be thrown off your plan by the number on the scale not being what you hoped for? Also, does anyone else also weigh themselves daily? Leave me a comment and let me know. For me, at the beginning of a new diet and or workout plan, the weight usually goes down pretty fast. It's usually a big change from what I was doing before, so the weight just starts to drop. Some people say it's just water weight in the beginning, but whatever it is, it goes down and it stays down and it doesn't come back, so it still feels really good and it's still weight lost. This gives a lot of momentum at the start of a new plan to keep working hard at it. It's motivating, it makes it feel like it's working, and when the number on the scale is changing fast, it just makes it so much easier to keep working hard at it and just keep going. And you can see how that happened in the first 9 days of my weight loss journey. My weight went down 6 pounds in those first 9 days, and the number on the scale went down a significant amount on 5 of those 9 days. Like the amount it should maybe go down in a week, it went down in a day. So that was a great start, but of course this can't last. That rate of loss at the beginning of a diet can't sustain. Very rarely can it keep going, and it has to slow down. But then that's the hard part, continuing on, not giving up, and sticking with the plan, even though you now have to wait for it. You have to wait to see the results and to see those numbers change. Sometimes only small amounts, sometimes maybe 1 or 2 pounds a week. And those are actually good numbers over time as they add up, but they can feel somewhat insignificant in the moment, and it can be really hard to keep the motivation up. Besides all the effort, it can take a lot of patience. So this time around, I'm going to try very hard to stick through it And I feel like sharing these videos here is really going to help me do that. I'm going to try not to give up no matter how slowly the scale moves. I'm hoping that this time around I will continue with the food plan and or make adjustments to it along the way, but not to just give up and quit completely. I'm hoping that once I incorporate exercise into my plan, that I will also continue working on that and improving my fitness until I reach all of my goals. And here I am at day 13, and this time it took 4 days for the scale to move. Now, it's great that today it went down again, but I know that these plateaus are going to stretch out longer and longer, and this is the longest plateau that I've had so far, and I'm sure there will be longer ones to come. And that's what makes it hard to do, the waiting them out, the just sticking to the plan and continuing on until you get past that point. But this is what I am going to try my best to do. This is a journey after all, so it is going to take time. So today, day 13 of my weight loss journey, and I am down 7 pounds, and that is really exciting. And I think I'm already starting to feel the difference a little bit. Here's a little video clip of my weigh-in from today, and I am at 193.2 pounds. I am now ready to fill out my big poster board weight loss charts for today, and this is exciting because I'm into my second week and I get to fill in my ending weight for my first week. So here is a little video clip of me doing that. So it is day 13, and after 4 days of being stuck at 194, I finally get to cross it off. I am now 193.2 pounds. This chart goes all the way from my starting weight all the way down to 128 pounds. But if I end up anywhere in this green or blue section, that would be really awesome and I would be super happy. So it is a Monday morning weigh-in. I had my first weigh-in of my second week, and that means I get to write that weight down as my ending weight for the first week. So here it goes. 194. I'm writing upside down here, so it's a little tricky. But there we go. So my starting weight was 200.2. My ending weight for the first week was 194, and my goal weight for this week was 198. So I'm already 4 pounds ahead of my goal. I also am going to write this weight down as my starting weight for my second week. So I'm going to put that right here. 194. So we'll see how this week goes. As you can see, I'm actually already ahead of my ending goal weight for this week, which is 196, but that's okay. We will see what happens. So it is day 13, which is actually Thursday, May 7th, and I have completed my calorie goal for every day this week so far. So I'm gonna fill in those check marks now. So this is for Monday, and Tuesday, soon I will have to start exercising, and this is for Wednesday. I know I'll have to exercise if I want to keep losing weight at a pretty steady rate. Otherwise it might slow down too much. And then this is for Thursday, which is today. I just got to get myself a little more organized before I fit the exercise into my schedule. So there you go, 4 days so far this week. And since my weight dropped again this week, you can see that at 193.2, I am actually in the goal range of my fourth week. So is this the start of the next weight loss plateau? Will I be stuck here for a while again, or will it change quickly? Who knows? Only time will tell. Just below me there is a video where I talk about 3 things that help me resist food at a party. You can click that link to watch that if you haven't already seen it. And on the other side is a playlist of my videos starting at day 1 all the way through to today. And don't forget to hit subscribe to see my next video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.